Alright, so let's say we have this fully expanded parabola, and I can note that it's parabola because y is squared, but x is not. When one term is squared and the other is not, chances are it is a parabola. But notice y is squared, and we're used to seeing x squared, so that tells me that this is going to be a side-to-side parabola. So in order to get it into a more useful form, I need to complete the square. But since y is the squared term, I need to complete the square on y. So to do so, I'm going to get y plus something squared, and again, that something is always half the constant term on the y. So y plus half of 4 is 2, equals, I'm going to add everything else to the other side. So I'm going to add that 4x over, so I'll get a plus 4x. I'm going to subtract that 8 over, so I'm going to get a minus 8. But I also need to balance my equation. I added 2 squared on the left, so I need to add 2 squared equals 4 on the right. So I get my equation, y plus 2 squared equals 4x minus 8 plus 4 is minus 4. One more step, let's factor that right side. Y plus 2 squared equals 4 times x minus 1, factoring that 4 out. Now notice this is the form that I prefer to use. It's different than your books, but again, I think it is more useful than what your book tells you. So we have this form, and let's compare it to the general equation. So the general equation for a horizontal parabola is right there for us. Let's grab it and use that over here. So look at the structure of what I have in black and look at the structure of what I have in red there. We're going to be comparing these to get the information that I need. Well, the very first thing I can do is I can plot the center. I see that y plus 2, that tells me negative 2 for my y value. I see that x minus 1, since it's factored on the right, is going to tell me positive 1 on the x. So there is my vertex right there. I think I said center. There's my vertex. And now I'm kind of stuck until I identify my c value. So look right here. That coefficient, when factored, that coefficient is in the form of 4c. So I get this equation, 4c equals 4. So if I divide everything by 4, I get c equals 1. And remember, c tells me the distance from the vertex to the focus. So this, what we're looking at now, is vertical, up and down, and we're dealing with side to side. So instead of going 1 up, I'm going to go 1 right, 1 in the positive direction, and I'll get my focus. And then I'll go 1 left, 1 in the negative direction to get my directrix, that same c value. So my directrix has the equation x equals 0. And I see that my vertex has the coordinates 1, comma, negative 2. And I see my focus has the coordinates 2, comma, negative 2. And I can do one more thing to make my graph a little more accurate. If I line myself up with my focus, I can use this coefficient, that value of 4, to find the point above and below that. If I go 2 up, there's a point, and 2 down, there's a point as well. And now I can draw in my parabola from there. That line that runs through the focus and connects the edges, the points on your parabola, it's called the latus rectum, and it has a length of that coefficient. So it has a total length of 4, which means 2 up and 2 down. And I believe that's pretty much everything I'm going to ask you about a parabola right now.